What if I told you, there's a hotel in Japan where women walk in, but never walk back out? A cursed place tied to the world of the dead, where spirits don't just haunt you, they slowly pull you into their world. And the scariest part? Once the hotel chooses you, it never lets you go. Tonight's story is not just about ghosts. It's about guilt, grief, and a doorway that should have never been opened. So today I'm going to explain one of the most disturbing and emotionally haunting horror movies of recent times, Hotel Sakura. This movie revolves around an ancient Japanese belief connected to a terrifying place known as the Land of the Dead. A cursed hotel stands between the living world and the afterlife, and people believe that women who enter this place mysteriously disappear forever. Nobody knows what truly happens inside those walls, because no one ever comes back to tell the story. And trust me, this film is far more than just another ghost movie. It slowly gets under your skin. The deeper the story goes, the darker and more heartbreaking it becomes. The movie begins during the chaos of World War II. We see a terrified Japanese woman named Setsuko hiding inside a room with her little daughter. Both of them are shaking in fear because danger is getting closer every second. Outside the room, a few soldiers are protecting them, but suddenly another Japanese soldier arrives. And this man isn't there to save anyone. He's there to kill them all. One by one, he brutally slashes the soldiers with his katana. The reason behind his rage is horrifying. After the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, some Japanese officers surrendered to protect their families. Setsuko's husband was one of those men. He chose his wife and daughter over pride and war, and for that he was labeled a traitor. Before the soldier attacks, Setsuko gives her daughter a mysterious talisman that once belonged to her husband. She softly tells her daughter that this charm will protect her no matter what happens. But the soldier laughs at her faith. He snatches the talisman away and says, "Even this won't save you." Setsuko begs him to spare her daughter, but mercy no longer exists inside that man. In a horrifying moment, he kills both mother and child. And that tragic night becomes the beginning of the curse. Years later, we meet Sarah, a quiet college student still carrying deep emotional scars from her past. One day during class, her professor starts discussing how every religion and culture believes in supernatural beings in some form. Even people who don't believe in God often believe in spirits, curses, or something beyond death. A strange boy named Arlo speaks up during the lecture. He says supernatural creatures are real, whether people want to admit it or not. The professor responds by mentioning Japan, explaining that many Japanese people may not be deeply religious, but they still strongly believe in spirits and ghost folklore. However, she also says there's no scientific proof these entities truly exist. But Arlo completely disagrees. After class, he approaches Sarah and tells her something unsettling. He says people reject old beliefs because they're afraid of looking outdated. But some doors should never be ignored. Some things are real whether science understands them or not. Sarah thinks he's just another creepy weirdo and ignores him. Later, she visits her father, who is being cared for by a housekeeper after Sarah's mother passed away years ago. While looking around the house, Sarah notices her late mother's old clothes. Her face instantly changes. Pain, guilt, regret, all of it comes rushing back. Her father gently tells her to stop blaming herself for the past. But the truth is, Sarah has never forgiven herself. And then the movie slowly reveals the heartbreaking reason why. Years ago, Sarah's mother worked as a simple tea seller and delivery worker. But Sarah felt embarrassed by her mother's job. She avoided introducing her to friends because she feared being judged. One day, while sitting comfortably inside her rich friend's car, Sarah saw her mother nearby delivering orders on her scooter. Her mother smiled at her lovingly, but Sarah pretended not to know her. Moments later, her mother was hit in a terrible accident and died on the road. That memory destroyed Sarah from the inside. Ever since that day, she's been trapped in guilt. She keeps seeing disturbing dreams connected to her mother's death. And deep down, all she wants is one final chance to speak to her mom again. That same night, Sarah visits her friend Nita, who works at a cafe. While sitting there, Sarah notices Arlo staring at her from a distance. Later, outside the cafe, he approaches her again and asks if she has ever heard of Yomi. Sarah immediately recognizes the name. Yomi, in Japanese mythology, is the land of the dead, a dark realm where souls go after death. A place from which nobody can return. But then Arlo says something terrifying. He claims he found a doorway connected to Yomi, a real place. He says he entered it and met his dead sister there. He even talked to her. Then he gives Sarah a photograph of a strange abandoned hotel called Hotel Sakura. Arlo somehow understands Sarah's emotional pain. He knows she desperately wants to meet someone she lost. And before leaving, he tells her that the hotel might give her that chance. That night, Sarah searches about Hotel Sakura online before falling asleep. And once again she sees horrifying dreams about her mother's death. The next day, Sarah tells Nita everything. She shows her the photo of the hotel and says she wants to go there, because if there's even a tiny chance her mother is waiting there, she can't ignore it. Nita tries to stop her. She tells Sarah that dead people deserve peace and some doors should never be opened. But grief makes people do dangerous things. Eventually, Nita agrees to go with her. And the moment they enter Hotel Sakura, the nightmare truly begins. The hotel feels dead silent. Empty hallways, cold air, strange shadows. Sarah even sees a mysterious woman walking through the corridor, only for her to suddenly disappear. At the reception desk, they finally meet the creepy manager, Endo. He welcomes them with an unsettling smile and asks how long they plan to stay. Sarah says 3 nights. But Nita notices something strange immediately. There is no room number 8 in the hotel. The numbers jump directly from 7 to 9. When she asks about it, Endo completely ignores the question. That's when things start feeling truly wrong. Sarah mentions seeing another woman inside the hotel earlier, but Endo calmly tells her they are the only guests staying there. A staff member named Fikar then escorts them to their room. On the way upstairs, Sarah once again hears footsteps and whispers from the same mysterious woman. But every time she looks, nobody is there. Inside the room, Nita jokingly finds a broom and laughs, saying they can use it to fight ghosts if things go bad. But the joke doesn't stay funny for long. While washing her face in the bathroom, Sarah suddenly notices a terrifying reflection in the mirror behind her. Someone is standing there. She quickly turns around, but nobody's there. Then she looks back into the mirror again. And the figure is even closer this time. Sarah panics and runs outside, only to find Nita surprising her with a birthday celebration. Sarah had completely forgotten that today was her birthday. For a moment, the fear disappears. Before blowing out the candles, Nita tells her to make a wish. But Sarah's biggest wish has always been the same: to see her mother one last time. Nita then gives Sarah a gift, the same cursed talisman connected to Setsuko from the beginning of the movie. And from that moment, the spirits fully awaken. That night, Sarah sees the ghost of Setsuko standing near her bed. The ghost silently watches her before vanishing into darkness. The next morning, the hotel worker Fikar notices the talisman around Sarah's wrist and immediately becomes nervous. His face changes completely. It's obvious he knows something terrifying about it. Later, Sarah pressures him for answers. Eventually, Fikar reveals the dark history of the hotel. During World War II, the building once belonged to a military officer connected to Setsuko's family. After their murders, countless strange deaths started happening there. Women staying in the hotel mysteriously disappeared or died under horrifying circumstances. And every victim had one thing in common: they all wore that same talisman. Now Sarah becomes obsessed with finding room number 8, because Arlo supposedly stayed there before disappearing. Finally, Fikar secretly takes her there. Inside the room are old photographs of Setsuko, her husband, and their daughter. The atmosphere feels heavy, almost alive. Fikar warns Sarah not to stay there, but she refuses to leave. Because by now, Sarah believes this place really is connected to the dead. That night, the horror exploded. The lights begin flickering. Shadows move across the walls. Sarah and Nita both start seeing the ghost of a little girl wandering through the hotel. At one point, Sarah literally tries fighting a spirit using the broom from earlier, which feels weirdly funny and terrifying at the same time. But the ghosts are no longer playing games. The hotel has started pulling them deeper inside its curse. Soon Sarah begins waking up inside room number 8 without remembering how she got there. She starts losing track of reality. Dreams and real life begin mixing together. Sometimes she sees her dead mother smiling at her lovingly, and then suddenly her face transforms into something horrifying. Meanwhile, Nita keeps seeing the ghost child everywhere she goes. The psychological horror becomes brutal. Sarah no longer knows whether she's awake or dreaming. She even starts seeing younger versions of herself, reliving the moments where she ignored her mother before her death. The guilt is literally consuming her soul. Days pass strangely. Sarah believes she's still living normally, but something terrifying has already happened. Eventually, Nita discovers the truth. Sarah had actually died inside Hotel Sakura an entire week earlier. The person Nita had been talking to all this time was Sarah's spirit. That revelation completely shatters reality. Everything suddenly makes sense. The dreams, the confusion, the distorted timeline, the hotel constantly calling her back. Sarah herself never realized she was already dead. Her soul remained trapped because she couldn't let go of her guilt or her longing to see her mother again. And finally, she did meet her mother. But not in heaven. Inside the cursed world connected to Yomi. Near the end, Nita completely breaks down mentally after seeing Sarah's real corpse inside room number 8. Nobody believes her stories about spirits or curses. The police think she's simply traumatized, or maybe even responsible for Sarah's death. But the horror isn't over yet. While staying in a mental hospital, Nita begins hearing whispers from the talisman. The voices slowly guide her back toward Hotel Sakura. And in the final terrifying scene, she walks back into the cursed hotel herself, implying that she may have died too. Or worse. The hotel finally claimed another soul. The movie then ends with one final mystery involving Arlo standing near Sarah's grave, quietly saying goodbye. And suddenly you realize, maybe he knew exactly what would happen from the beginning. Maybe he sent Sarah there on purpose. Or maybe he was already dead too. And honestly, that unanswered mystery makes the ending even creepier. But beneath all the ghosts and supernatural horror, this movie carries a heartbreaking message. Sometimes guilt can trap a person more deeply than death itself. Sarah wasn't destroyed by spirits alone. She was destroyed by regret. By the pain of not appreciating her mother while she still had the chance. And that's what makes this story feel so hauntingly real. Because monsters are scary, but unresolved emotions are even scarier. So if there's one lesson hidden inside this terrifying story, it's this. Never wait until someone is gone to show them love. Because sometimes the words we never say become the ghosts that follow us forever.